Good afternoon, everyone. I know I am really between you and the evening, so I'll try to make this as interesting as possible. I'm a senior partner with Deloitte Consulting, have been serving a lot of enterprises with a lot of complex problems around tech-enabled business transformations, whether it was local, global, system implementation, expanding businesses and others. And in my recent years, I've been tasked to manage a lot of these portfolios that serves many industries. And I realized that there's a technology coming our way that is going to disrupt our business, professional services industry. And I felt like as one of the leaders, it's my responsibility to go and figure out how I can manage this disruption, actually create an opportunity out of this disruption. So today, I'm going to talk about that with you. But before that, I want to thank DLA Piper for inviting me here. I work with a lot of incredible legal professionals and lawyers. I've never presented to them. So I'm like, wow, this is a great opportunity for me to try something new. So here we go. I call this age of disruption. You call this future of disruption. I called it age of disruption. Because the disruption is actually here. Whether we feel it or not, it's a matter of our perception, the realities around us, the services and businesses and activities that we perform, but it is here. And let me start with one picture that has a lot of dots in it and a hockey stick and a lot of text. What is this saying? Well, computing power has accelerated the growth of technology and computing and processing power from going at the speed of sound to the speed of light. How do you say that? Well, we surpassed the brain power of a human last year in terms of processing, in terms of referencing memory, and in terms of storing information. Those are incredible facts about how the computing technology, computing hardware, is fueling all of our industries, whether it's legal, professional services, life sciences, energy, and others. So this incredible advancement is an amazing opportunity for all of us to take advantage of. So then if that computing power is coming in, how are the AI companies are thinking about what they want to do? Well, I could tell you all these large language models, foundational models. Now you hear recently small language models, private language models. All they're trying to do is to emulate human power and a human brain. Human brain takes data as an input, processes the data, provides perspectives and reactions and logic and actions and execute things, but also stores them quite a bit. So the relationship between the brain and data is pretty important. And that is one of the biggest challenges of almost all enterprises to take advantage of the power of AI, data. And data comes in different forms. So right now, one of the hottest forms of data that you've been dealing with for years and years and years is unstructured data. Emails, contracts, conditions, regulatory documents, white papers, things like that. And those forms of data are going to make a huge difference in any organization's ability to take advantage of the power of AI. There is another element here that is going to be pretty hot. I was actually quite surprised in a pleasant way to see that you, DLA Piper, as an organization, has a GenAI organization internally and thinking about how to basically address the disruption that AI is going to bring to everybody, including your own clients and yourselves. And attention to the data is one of the most important things. There are organizations that never, ever had to hire a data scientist, but now they have to think about bringing data scientists in and think about taking advantage of them to manage the business or actually disrupt the industry that they're in. So the role of data is going to significantly grow, and with that, the humans and others associated with it as well. So Language models are trying to emulate human brain. Data is massively needed. Where are the enterprises? Majority of the enterprises are still stuck with transformation and taking advantage of technology, the foundational level. Many, many years, industries have been thinking about, I need to have a great housing for my structured information. My business structure, my transactions, my analytics, and my exchange of information with my business partners. Millions and billions of dollars have been spent in building that. Even migration to the cloud that everyone thinks is an average normal thing to do. Today, only 15% of the organizations have moved to the cloud. Can you believe that? Still, 85% of organizations have not moved their critical business information to the cloud. So it's a tremendous amount of opportunities. And many of these foundational activities are still in progress. You might think about this as like many of your organizations and your companies have already are in the cloud. And if you scale that up to the entire world, there's so much still to move. And cloud is one of the biggest enablers of the AI. So if that's the case and everybody's heading to robotics and automations and AI, what is going to happen? I personally believe generative AI is not a disruption at all. In fact, it's an opportunity. When combustion engines were discovered and innovated, anybody who was in the transportation business with carriages and horses and other animals and other things felt like their business is going to be disruptive. And it's going to be disrupted bad. Versus the opportunity was to move more people, move people faster, move the transportation industry at scale. And we should look at the generative AI with that lens and the opportunity that provides. So what are some of these opportunities? You can categorize these opportunities and challenges into 6 categories. Unlocking the impossible, heart of the business. Right now, there's quite a bit of that is happening in the life sciences industries and some other industries. Drug discoveries, simulation of drug results and things like that. Weather industries and things like that. So unlocking the impossible is one of the biggest cases of AI that right now is being actually, a lot of investments are spent on it. Efficiency and productivity is right now is the hottest thing. In fact, some of my business or a lot of my conversations and interactions with my clients has to do with how do I create efficiency? How do I create productivity? Humans and machines are next. Autonomous agents and automated agents are coming to the enterprises. What happens to the workforce? What happens to the labor laws? What happens to humans and machines work together? How do you do handoffs? What is the responsibility of the human versus responsibility of the machine? How do you actually, calculate all of that? And how do you actually continue to retain the business the way it is? So these are all the opportunities that are coming in, and these opportunities are great. At the same time, may pose some challenges that, in my opinion, those challenges are also even an opportunity themselves. Digital transformations and thinking about how you can move those transformations at the faster speed is going to be also an opportunity for AI applications. The one that interests your industry, trust, risk, and resiliency, is actually going to be a massive element of any AI implementation, any AI transformation, and use of AI. And finally, a couple of speakers actually talked about the climate and sustainability. I was talking to a client of mine in a different region of the world, and they were going to do massive amount of investments in the age of AI, data centers, computing power, and everything to transform that region dramatically with the technology. When we had the conversations about what technology needs going to look like, what's the human resources needs going to look like, what's the implementation is going to look like, we got to a point that we said, you're going to double the power needs for your region. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about the amount of power that you are producing today and generating in your region, and the fact that all this computing power and all this data requires doubling that? Have you thought about transmission and creation of that power? And that was the aha moment that basically turned the entire conversation to a whole different level. So climate and sustainability is going to be another element of opportunity in this space. So GenAI is going to elevate a lot of existing risk levels, and it's going to create some new ones. I heard conversations about fraud and fraud detection. I just happened to have a conversation with our fraud team yesterday. Globally, the number of frauds and the amount of fraud across the globe is going to increase by 480% over the next 10 years. 480%. And if you think about that, what does that 480% really means? That 480% means like the use of technology, the advancements of technology, the emulation of the human brain is creating a lot of opportunities for the bad guys to think about how they can create scams and other phishing and other kind of things that are happening and impact the financial industry. So now you have to use AI against AI to think about how AI can prevent and protect the use of AI by somebody else. That to me is a great opportunity. And if you think about all the other risks that are listed here, you've been dealing with all these risks forever. In fact, a lot of your activities are around it. But then the elevation of this, because of the opportunities that AI is going to bring to the table, is going to change the game and is going to increase and create opportunities. So how are these opportunities? First of all, there are two really big categories of AI. There's AI in the business of AI, which is all the computing and all the things that are used to create and enable AI for other uses. Business of AI is the hottest thing right now for all the enterprises. In fact, 97% of the investments in the AI space are spent on the business of AI. So that is basically create the computing power, the humans, the wirings, the power, and everything to enable AI capabilities for various organizations, various geographies, and so on and so forth. The rest of it goes back to AI for business. And AI for business is going to be, basically considered as next generation of the technologies, but exponentially more complex and exponentially more opportunistic. You could have basically replaced the word AI with cloud for business, or business of cloud. A fraction of the size of the opportunities and the complexities that you needed to implement cloud, it's incomparable to what you need for the AI. Because AI introduces many new dimensions to what you're doing that requires you to think about conditions, liabilities, contracts, limitations that you have to pose for that. Every single organization that is going to use large language models that are open source, they have to think about trustworthiness of these. And trustworthy is going to be one of the most important elements of use of any AI. Here's a financial industry that does model validations. Banks actually have been using a lot of model validations for years and years and years. And a lot of model validations have been done by humans. So humans were responsible for the validating to make sure that those models are right. The accuracy requirements of these models had to be at the 97 or 99% plus in order for banks to feel comfortable about introducing those models to the markets. Now, you're thinking about the use of technology to create efficiency and productivity out of the use of humans to do the same thing. Then all of a sudden, you're actually creating a situation that you need to validate whether that technology, being AI, can be trusted. Trust is from risk perspective, trust is from data accuracy perspective, trust from validations and business needs, and trust from biases. Think about, all these dimensions that you always apply to your data. Now it has to be applied to your your AI as well. Here's another opportunity. A lot of discovery phases that many of you perform during litigation phases, litigation activities, it's more like looking for a needle in a haystack. That's what you're looking for, to do that discovery and make sure that you actually understand every aspect of, related matters to that particular phrase or for that particular topic. All of a sudden, getting to those results is going to happen a lot faster. Now, the first reaction that everybody thinks is like, oh, does that mean that I need less people? Absolutely not. You actually need more people. You need less people to execute those individual tasks. But the way you increase your capacity, the way you improve your quality, it allows you to expand your business and go after net new parts of the business that you never thought about or never had the capacity to deal with it because hiring humans was not as easy to do versus activating an AI agent that can create that level of efficiency and productivity. So these are all the elements that are going to require quite a bit of legal and regulatory requirements around it. And as much as everyone is right now fixated and focused on efficiency and productivity because those are the simplest use cases, you saw, I think Barkley was presenting how a PDF document was submitted to create a podcast. That's productivity, and it's very easily addressed and it can be provided very cheaply. But then how do you actually take the same concept and create productivity for the work that you're doing? So there are two use cases for the use of AI. The first use case for almost all organizations and all industries is to think about cost optimization. The second is value realization. And to me, in order for you to get to the value realization, you have to go through the cost optimization aspect of it. Because it also gives you an incredible amount of experience with the technology and understanding how you can use the technology to advance your business to new heights. You never thought a legal organization, legal firm, would have an AI and data team. So that's an incredible advancement because you're actually thinking about the future and the opportunities ahead. Data is going to create many opportunities. First of all, almost all large language models have run out of publicly available data to process, digest, and fine-tune it for the prompts that people are asking. There's not enough public data. I mean, they're run out of all the public data. The next frontier for these organizations, in order to advance their AI solutions, is to go after anonymized but specific data. Think about it. You are in a consumer industry, and you think about new customers, new ways of serving your customers, improving your responses, improving the quality of your responses, quality of your products, and in general, your relationship with the customers, which translates to growth for your business. If that's what you want to do, wouldn't it be great for you to have the use of AI to understand all the competitors' businesses in an anonymized way, how they perform their business, and how they are actually executing, that can create some learnings for you from the insights and actions and results that they have generated. Now, this is a competition that exists today, but it's performed in a different way. But now, if you're thinking about the use of AI to do that, it creates a lot of legal, regulatory, risk, and trust-related matters that it has to be addressed. Who can do that? Organizations like yours. That's a net new opportunity. It's a net new business channel that perhaps was not in the roster of things that you thought that you're going to do. So these opportunities are real, and it's going to expand, and in my opinion, it's going to actually increase a lot of opportunities for everybody, as long as you're looking at it as an opportunity, not as a disruption. Because if you're looking at it as a disruption, you're immediately stuck with the defensive mode. Versus offensive mode is the one that allows you to think about how you can actually compete better in the marketplace. And from being disrupted, become a disruptor, right? So I'm going to have some key takeaways. They will come across as philosophical statements, but believe me, I have applied these things in our business and I've seen results. Number one, in the age of AI and disruption, clock speed is everything. The sooner you respond, the sooner you embrace, the sooner you actually take it all in and understand it, the faster that you can respond to it. And the faster you can understand the impact, faster you can understand the opportunities, and so on and so forth. So I highly, highly recommend, think about what does that mean to your organization. Processing things faster, making decisions faster, and those will make a huge difference in your ability to take advantage of AI. And I can tell you another thing that matters so much in this space, standards. A lot of organizations don't have standards. And you may think about the work that you do and say, it's really hard for us to create standards. It will not be hard if you take a step back, and think about how you want to take value out of the AI and how those standards are going to give you the advantage. You will find ways. In my own organization, a particular business, we had 17 different ways of doing things. And those 17 different ways always yielded exactly the same results we wanted to create for our clients. Okay, great. Now I'm thinking about expanding my business, and I think I want to use AI to that advantage. The best way for me to have one or maybe two standards of doing things, and that will create a lot of opportunities for me to automate, which translates to a bandwidth and ability to serve many more industries. So think about clock speed and standards. Change is the new constant. This is a simple statement, but it's a reality. Every 3 months, if you look at the large language models and the way they're growing, the lines of code and almost billions of lines of code that are being added to it, it's just incredible. And there's a computing power that allows you to do all that processing. So therefore, they're getting smarter and faster. And just recognizing that, you realize that the change will happen more frequently, and you need to think about it as a constant and something that you have to actually incorporate in standard operating procedures that you have. Data is the new enterprise currency. And this is going to be a key thing for almost all industries. There are many utility organizations that have been collecting a lot of data. And these are the data that they've been using to advance their own business and serve their customers in those utilities and those regions very well. The data that they've collected over the years now gives them the opportunity to actually generate revenue from that data by interacting with other utilities and other organizations within the same ecosystem. So all of a sudden, the data they were housing to run the business has a value and has become a currency, and it'll give them the advancements. So thinking about how you use your data, how you store your data, how you standardize your data is going to be a huge difference. And finally, agility is going to matter. You have a choice to be an observer. You have a choice to be involved and actually take advantage of all these fantastic advancements. What I was seeing that Barclay was presenting, something that would take weeks, now it's done in seconds or minutes. That's an incredible agility, but by the computing power. But then how do you take it and apply it to your organization? And I can tell you, one of the biggest challenges in the agility is the culture of the organization. We constantly think about machines and technology and all the advancements, how great it is. Ultimately, machines are going to enhance the experience of the humans. They have to augment what humans do. Therefore, we're back to being at the center of everything. And the culture of the organization and how you advance that culture will actually improve or decrease your agility. So thinking about these simple things and incorporating them into your, kind of rules of the road, how you operate, will make a huge difference on how you can take advantage of the age of AI, the opportunities of the AI, not disruptions of the AI, And I can guarantee you with that lens, the value realization will come to you faster. The cost optimization will make you a better organization, because this is, by the way, AI is not just about cost optimization. Improving quality and improving value of what you do will be actually improved through that, because there will be less human errors, less human mistakes, and things like that. In general, this is what we are seeing in the marketplace. And by the way, I didn't mention this. Disruption for professional services organizations is one of the biggest. One of the biggest. Because some of the mundane and repeated tasks that are performed on a regular basis, we do a lot of it at scale. Therefore, I could stand up here and say, this is going to disrupt me as well. But I can guarantee you, my view is nothing but opportunities. And I think, if you put that lens on and apply some of these simple guiding principles, will give you incredible benefits. I hope you found this conversation meaningful. I really appreciate the invitation again, and thank you so much.
And last but not least, it is my pleasure to introduce my partner to close us out, Jeff Tsai. Jeff is the office managing partner of DLA Piper's San Francisco office and co-chair of the firm's state attorney general practice, and a good friend. And he's going to bring us home for the Global Technology Summit. Thanks, Jeff. Great job.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Danny. It's great to be here with you. I know that we're closing out, and I was asked to provide some closing remarks for the firm, and I'm very happy to do so. When I was approached initially about doing these closing remarks at a conference kind of this significant, the very first thing the organizers said to me is they truly wanted really only frankly, the best and the brightest, to be honest with you, to give the closing remarks. That's a true story. That's a true story. As it turns out, Amica was not available to do closing remarks, so I'm here. You knew that something like that was coming. No, but I'm thrilled to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to do it and close out what really has been a fascinating conference, talking about that intersection. And we heard it just a moment ago, the intersection of law and technology, and what are all of those known unknowns, and more importantly, the unknown unknowns that are out there. As Danny mentioned, I am the managing partner in San Francisco of DLA Piper. I'm also the co-chair of the firm's state attorneys general practice nationwide. And we do like to think of Northern California as an important hub of where technology meets the law. And we obviously couldn't have been happier to be the host here at this conference. From the convergence of emerging technologies and national security, as we heard about this morning, to the future of AI and the law and some of those aspects you heard just now. Today's sessions, I think, have showcased a lot of those cutting-edge advancements that are shaping our world. And as many of you know and have heard about today, what I think the most important takeaway maybe is that through line that you've seen from the first panel, but even to the last, including if you looked at some of the last couple of slides that we saw, is the manner in which, when we talk about that through line of the discussions about these technology innovations, is the role that the law and regulators, importantly, will play as we move forward. And sometimes it manifests in terms of private litigation, sometimes it's regulatory concerns. But you see each of those things throughout a lot of these technologies that are continuing to emerge. This won't be the last time that we convene together to talk and collaborate about these kinds of issues. In the meantime, I do want to extend our thanks to our speakers today, including all of our sentient speakers, some of whom are computers and some of whom are the human beings there, but several of whom, including in this room, traveled distances far and wide, including overseas, to be with us here, and we very much appreciate that. Also want to thank our friends at Shift Robotics and Orbital Composites for their incredible demonstration booths. I think that Amica's out there answering questions and taking a few photographs, I think, for those of y'all who have not had that opportunity. Of course, we also want to thank our attendees, all of y'all here today. Thank you very much for being here. It's made, of course, this experience importantly collaborative as we talk about these issues. And speaking about participation and collaboration, I think that there is or there will be a survey that we would very much appreciate you guys filling out. We can make these events better. And of course, it would not be an event at the Rosewood at Sand Hill Road if on a beautiful Thursday afternoon and we didn't have a happy hour at Madeira, and we're certainly going to do that today too. So we welcome you all to continue that conversation after this is over as we carry outside in the hallway and into the bar and continue talking. Thank you to Sang Kim, who's in the back. He's wearing a tie today. So I'd wear one all the time, but Sang does not. Sang Kim, Trent Dykes, who's over there, Aaron Gibson, just a couple of our partners. Danny Toby has been here all day. A couple of our partners who have really worked hard to put this on, and I just think it's important to acknowledge the incredible work that they've done to put this conference into reality. And with that, yeah, thank you. And with that, thank you very much, everybody. It's been a long day, but hopefully some very interesting things being discussed today, and we look forward to seeing y'all at the next conference. Thank you.